Hey guys, here's the Zephyr 2. I got one sample from the factory here in styrene. You can see, I just wanted to see how fine the bead's going to end up being before they start running, just kind of give me an idea. And they had some styrene in the machine. You can see what a little bit of goop does to this thing. Melts it pretty good. So you're going to, that's on styrene. So you're going to still want to be careful with it on this. It is pretty tolerant when it comes to glues, but I tell you what, a big bead of goop doesn't help it. It does soften up and make a mushy spot on the plane. This is the styrene part that came out of the machine, and you can see I was over here touching it a minute ago, and the trailing edges are flaking off. That's just styrene. It's not worth a damn. It's all over the place, but kind of gives you an idea between styrene and EPOR. The model has my symbols in it. I got them raised up off the hump. I ran a pencil or a pen over that just to see what it would look like. It's got some of the razors in it there from the popping it out of the machine, and that's where the fillers are. All the vents are so fine. Heck, most of them you can't even feel them, let alone see them. So if you want to make it really smooth, all you have to do is run some sandpaper over it real smooth, or heck, most of the lam irons with the laminating film is just going to pretty much push those down. You won't even see them. Motor mount area is cut out. You can see it. All you have to do when you set your motor mount in here is take the motor mount, hold it up to the plane, set it down at about quarter inch lower than the plane. Actually, the plane line on this battery bay or electronics bay. The electronics bay for your ESC is nice and big. You can always go deeper with it if you need to get more stuff in there. You can go ahead and basically follow that same level plane and the same level plane of this and set your motor mount in here by slicing it down, and that will put it right on the right thrust angle. Gone through and impregnated, basically fattened up this whole bay area. So it's nice and large for you guys. So you can put all kinds of gear in there. Whether you're putting any, your stuff out into the humps out here. I left this area in front of the servos clean in case you wanted to clear and clear this area a little bit with no batteries and put electronics in here, and then you can put your batteries here real easy. So I left this whole area of about 5 inches clear, so you can go ahead and manipulate a few inches of battery bay area back and forth. You can always even clear this whole area back if you need any more area open, and you can make one big lid that flips open, or a couple multiples. Couple pads for some electronic, some magnets that go in here. So you can run some 256 rod in the last couple flutes of your lids, and the magnets line up absolutely perfect so everything closes. Take a straight razor on these areas that have the knockouts on there. Go ahead and take a straight razor sideways and slice those bad boys off and sand them a little bit, and they're absolutely perfect. This is out of the first samples. The bead was a little bit too big. The edge was fairly fine, but I wanted a little bit better, so I'm hoping they got a little bit better today. They went through and reran. They said that they got the bead even smaller, which is nicer, so the plane's going to be a little bit more dense and a little stout. The foam itself is bendable. If you do that with styrene, it's going to snap. It does bounce. It does bounce without making major dents. A little bit of heat, a little bit of moisture will take any of the dents out. It's not going to be as durable as EPP, but for what we're getting it for, and most of you guys are fairly experienced flyers. We're not out there to destroy our plane, especially with all the high-end gear you got in them. So, all in all, the plane itself has substantially more wing area. I haven't noticed the speed difference as far as slowing it down a little bit. I thickened and widened the tips up just a tad to give it some more low-end stability, which is what you saw in the video. And I thickened it up by 1%. I flew this plane a little bit before I had it CAD molded and compared it to a regular Zephyr. And it had some little bit finer, nicer attributes than the regular Zephyr did as far as I'm concerned. And I went with this design because the Zephyr has been in the works in so many different designs over the last few years. I've finally got it fine-tuned into fix some of the problem areas that you guys have been complaining about. High landing speeds, a little bit of tip stall. So a little bit of these wider areas is going to cure some of that and give us a little bit more area for lighter wing loading, so you guys can launch them easier. They land at a jogging to speed to a fast running speed instead of a freaking 15-20 mile an hour car speed. Basically, you're going to stick 2 main carbon fiber tubes down, not carbon fiber, but glass tubes that I supply, the green tubes, down in there. You can either do them with Gorilla Glue with no water on the first one, Gorilla Glue with no water on the second one, lock it in with some CA, and then put a little bit of Gorilla Glue in with some water in there and let it foam up. When the foam's still about 3/4 of the way dry, you go ahead and slice it off with a long razor. Before you do that, you go ahead and set your other spar, your second spar in before you put the final Gorilla Glue in there, and lock it in with CA, and the same in the top. That system, you don't even need to put the spars in the top. And if you're building a super light build, you could literally just go 1 spar in the bottom, right in the main spar. So there's so many ways to go with this airplane to make it even lighter and lighter, but that's what we got for you. The new right wing.